There we go. Fading off quietly into the night. That was Pulp with Do You Remember the First Time? And I have in the studio with me, this is Sheffield Live, 93.2 FM. This is Communities Live, and I am Andrew Tildesley. And in the studio with me is Stan Skinney, talking about Sheffield songwriters, Creative Tuesdays at Dina Bar, and now about all sorts of other things that he does. So before the tune, you mentioned the shipping forecast. That's something you've been doing for quite some time, isn't it?
Yeah, that's been running for several years. I mean, it started off as a sort of open mic night above the Rood Shipyard Cafe on Aberdale Road, and so it got its name from that. And then I kind of wanted to do something more with a sort of poetry night and sort of turn it into more of a sort of spectacle. So I started playing on the sort of sea themed and gradually introducing more and more sea elements to it. So in between the sort of open mics, there'd be different sea-based characters that would come out, and there'd be like sort of sea-based games. And then recently, its most recent one, when I returned to Sheffield last year, is more of a sort of cabaret theatre show now. So the characters have taken over completely, and the poetry has sort of gone by the wayside. And instead, we now have Captain Fishfingers, who is on a cruise ship, looking for cabaret acts, and he fishes the sea for cabaret acts to bring onto his trawler, and then to take back to the mainland and sell onto Britain's Got Talent or something.
Yeah, that sounds pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward, yeah. So it's a pretty sort of madcap show, but it's a lot of fun. It's very colourful. We have talking clams, we have a talking shark. There's the squid. There's a lot of fun you can have with the sea.
Yeah. Fantastic. And so, when was the last one?
The last one was November last year.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just working on So we're working on a sort of 2-hour theatre show. Hopefully, going to sort of put that together for May, sort of pilot, and then maybe work on looking at touring it in the sort of later on next year.
Mm-hmm. And so, are you looking for cabaret style acts to fill slots?
Yes, believe it or not, there isn't a great selection of sea-based cabaret acts. You'd think there would be, but I've managed to find a mermaid, which is quite good. So, she plays Ariel from The Little Mermaid, but grown up a few more, so sort of 20 years down the line, and the princess sort of left, and she's left with the kids on her own now, and she's a bit bitter. I'm always on the lookout for sort of sea-themed acts. So I've always had a burning ambition to be in a sea-based cabaret, and we're thinking, oh God, my crab costume's never had a full airing. It's never had its full moment in the sun. Well, this is your opportunity. Yeah. Do get in charge.
Fantastic. And so you do other events as well. So we mentioned Quizorama Rama earlier.
Yes. Quizorama Rama is this evening. It takes place at the Cremorne. Quizorama Rama is again, I sort of wanted to sort of play with the format of what you could do with a quiz show. I find quiz shows or quiz nights at pubs, they're quite not dull affairs, but they're quite sort of staid, and they're quite sort of. I feel that the lack of imagination in them. Often, the only sort of chance you get to be creative with a quiz is choosing the quiz name. I thought, there's more could be done with that. So, I don't really want to do a quiz where someone proves how smart they are. I'd rather do a quiz where everyone shows how stupid everyone is. So I think that's a much better model. So it's not sort of a meritocracy, it's more of a sort of silly carnival. So in my quiz, I don't really think the answers are all that important. I don't really think winning is all that important. Just generally getting through it. And
like life.
Like life, yeah. And I just do sort of just daft games sort of thing. And I think it's just a great excuse for adults to sort of do sort of silly things, because I don't think they often get opportunity to do that sort of thing. I mean, they do lots of absurd tasks at work, like coffee runs and Excel spreadsheets. So I get them to do equally absurd tasks like rolling lemons or counting out marbles or sucking on polo mints. and seeing who can make the smallest one. It's just basically sort of my childhood being played out for a wider audience.
Fantastic. Well, that sounds good. And that's tonight at the Cremorne?
Try it at the Cremorne, yes, 9 o'clock. It's free. It's criminally free. And you can win a gallon of ale.
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
That's 8 pints.
That is 8 pints.
Those that don't know.
Yeah. I like the fact that the gallon has a sort of mystique to it, because people then sort of might think there's more to win.
Yeah, it does sound like,
It sounds like when I think
somebody
gallon,
just
I think
tipped a gallon into your mouth, that would be you.
I think a great big barrel. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
A gallon. Wow, it sounds massive, but yeah. But more importantly, you'll
Just make me wonder about 10-gallon hats. 80 pints in a cowboy hat doesn't seem likely, does it? Even
No.
balanced on the rim. Anyway, that's sidetracking. So we've been talking about your sort of promotional career so far, the kind of things that you've put on, events that you've created. But you're also a performer,
Yes.
which must not be forgotten. So how did you come to performing?
I don't know. There's some sort of odd compulsion. I remember the first time I sort of got up on stage was for it was a holiday camp at what's that main one called?
Butlins?
But kind of like Butlins,
Oh,
but with a tiger. I can't remember the tiger. Anyway,
yeah.
so they made everyone for some reason. They made every kid sort of get up and do a talent. And I thought, I'll do tap dancing. I'd never tap danced before in my life, but for 3 minutes I just sort of tapped my feet, and that's for some reason I thought, love that. Just carry on doing that. So my tap dancing career is sort of dwindled, but I've carried on performing, and I think I'm an identical twin, so I think there's a little bit of sort of celebrity in that already. Is that you get people coming up to, often strangers, that they're sort of prodding us and sort of, oh, you're a bit weird because you look the same, and then demanding answers to their multiple questions about our beings. And I think, maybe there's sort of, it's rooted in that.
You're sort of pre-prepared for being on Parkinson already, as long as he prods you and asks you.
Yeah.
Do you have psychic?
Do you have
abilities?
psychic abilities? Yeah. Oh, you're tall. Yeah. I had a guy, I was doing a gig in Chesterfield, and he kept on coming up to me before the show and kept on comparing me to different celebrities. Are you taller than this celebrity? Are you taller than that celebrity? Are you taller than Christopher Lee? And I'm not an authority on the heights of celebrities, really. So
Funnily enough.
Funnily enough, so I couldn't really give him an assured answer. But I did know that Richard Osman was from that quiz show.
Pointless.
Pointless, yeah. I think he's 6'7", because
Wow.
he's very, very tall, isn't he?
I'd forget how short I am until I'm literally stood next to tall people. And that, rather than me then thinking, gosh, you're tall, I think, oh yeah, I'm really short, aren't I? I'm only 5'6". That is short, though.
Well, it's all a matter of perspective, isn't
Exactly.
it? I mean, if you stood really close and I was really far away, we'd probably be the same height.
Yeah. Anyway, you're listening to Sheffield Live, 93.2 FM, and this is Height Talk with me, Andrew Tildesley. This is Communities Live, really, and I'm talking to Stan Skinney about his creative career. So spoken word, was that the kind of the first outlet?
Well, the first outlet was actually sort of music. So me and my band were in a sort of put together a band called the Skinnies. So that's where the Stan Skinney thing comes from. And we were kind of like a sort of punk rock ethos band, where we thought that even writing songs was sort of against our punk ethos. So we just sort of turn up and I'd play some chords that I'd learned that week. And usually the only band rehearsals we'd have would be in the disabled toilets before the gig. And it was just a fairly bit anarchic and a bit rubbish, but people just sort of laughed, at all the serious reams of Matt's diary entries. So just seemed like a natural progression to go into sort of doing sort of comedy things.
Mm-hmm.
And then me and my brother did lots of acts together, so we did like a sort of street theatre course. We used to do an act called The Condiments, which were two French clowns called Mr. Massot and Mr. Mapepper. And for one summer in 2008, I believe, we harassed the streets of Lichfield and did this act where we just with these French clowns that would the big trick was him standing on my shoulders and then juggling. Although it never always was that successful, and took us several attempts, and a few sprained ankles. But
that's some height that you'll have achieved.
that was why it was the big trick. You see, yeah. No, it certainly was impressive at a certain angle. Yeah. So we started from that, and then the poetry was just because when I was in Sheffield, away from him, I was doing an English degree, and don't know. Yeah, was always interested in poetry, so
progression. Yeah.
so that's how it happens.
Fantastic. And so, where's you're performing at now? You still perform? What sort of things do you do?
Well, some of the stuff I still do the sort of poetry stuff. So I'm developing a show at the moment called Captain the Butcher Reality, which is he's a wrestler that does poetry, and I'm sort of developing that into an hour show. That's my sort of next sort of creative project, and then I sort of do comedy things when I feel brave enough, which is kind of just more sort of a sort of cabaret show of all the things I try and do. I'm trying to essentially just do a showcase of all the different things I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And if people enjoy that, well, that's all well and good, isn't it?
And if anybody wants to see you performing,
well, I'm in Wakefield at the Red Shed Labour Club, I think, on Thursday. Come see that. And then most Tuesdays at Dina.
Yeah.
I'll be there. Or they can go on the sort of Facebook, Stan Skinny. Check me out on Twitter. I don't really use it. Stalk me, yeah. I'm more than obliging to answer any questions they have if they want to. I'm very used to it, being a twin, so if they want to stop me in the street and go and demand answers from me, then yeah, I'm happy to give them.
Fantastic. Well, so we had you in the studio, Stan, to talk about Songwriters Club as part of Creative Tuesdays at Dina.
Yeah.
So that's tomorrow?
It is, yeah. I'm not, unfortunately, going to be hosting because I'm not very well. I had eye surgery, so my eye is still quite sore. But Christopher Delamere is taking over the duties, and he's a very fine musician, and he also runs a radio podcast show called Communal
Notes from the Communal Bathroom.
That's the one. Yeah. Has he been on the show? Good. Well, I hope he promotes me.
We'll get him on if we haven't had him.
So he's great, and he's going to take over the duties tomorrow for that. So yes,
fantastic. And any other Tuesday from that point on, we'll probably be able to find you at Dina.
Yeah,
as part of Creative
Come along. If regardless of what you're interested in, come along. Just come along on a Tuesday, because there's always be something on that will catch your imagination and engage your interest.
Fantastic. And we're going to end with a song from you.
Yes. Just a short one. Brought me ukulele in. So this one is a song about... there's a game called Are You There, Moriarty? Which is a song about... Which is a game that used to be played where two people would be blindfolded. So they'd be blindfolded in a hall, and then they'd be armed with rolled up newspaper, and they would have to try and hit each other by just shouting, "Are you there, Moriarty?" So it's sort of trying to hit them in the dark. And people used to do this before PlayStations. So I sort of wrote a song about that. So why not? Blindfolded and swinging out wildly, playing party game, you there, Moriarty? Are you hiding under the stairs again? You know I can't stand it when you start cheating. Are you there? Are you there? Are you there? You got me one right between the eyes, such force that it took me by surprise. I got up to retaliate, but hit myself again by mistake. Are you there? Are you there? Are you there? Oh, I don't know if I wanna play no more. It always ends us fighting on the floor. But you always then look at me and say, I'm right here and I ain't going away. Are you there? Are you there? Are you there? Moriarty.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much, Stan Skinny.
Thank you very much, yes.
Right, that was Stan Skinny. Go find him at Dina on any given Tuesday night. We're now going to go to a tune, and it's Weezer.